Joining us on the phone here on Indiana in the Morning is business and marketing analyst and the author of Lens of Leadership, Kevin Paul Scott. He's also the CEO of the leadership consultancy ADDO. I think that's right, ADDO? Did I pronounce it?
You nailed it.
Okay, thank you very much, Kevin, for joining us.
Hey, it's good to be with you this morning.
Now, I wonder, did I contact you through a Zoom phone number or a Skype phone number or anything like that? Because it seems to be the way we're doing business these days.
This is a regular phone, but I feel like it's a nice respite because I spend most of my days looking at a Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Skype screen.
It's amazing how many of these companies started to come into their own. I mean, we've kind of heard of Skype if you've been on like instant messenger services ever since, I guess, MSN Messenger, to throw that name out there. You kind of know the evolution of Skype, but really the pandemic has kind of forced these to become very prevalent, not just between people wanting to just chat with one another, but now businesses becoming reliant on these tools.
Oh, there's no doubt. For anybody who had not experienced these types of services before, over the last 6 months, we have all been forced to become very proficient in using a technology to be able to work and talk to each other. And a lot of people are looking to what might happen post-COVID, what happens when this is all over, and trying to figure out, is this something that is here to stay, or does it shift back at some point? And employers are grappling right now with, are employees going to demand that they have the option to work from home? Do we even want to bring them all back into sometimes really expensive office spaces that we've invested a lot of money in?
Mm-hmm. So what do you think? Do you think it's going to be maybe just a hybrid of the two? Maybe some employees show up a couple days out of the week and then they can work from home the rest of the time?
Well, that's a great question. I think the key for everyone is going to be this idea of flexibility. Because think about it right now. As we're talking, there are people that are listening and saying, you know what, I've gotten to work from home and I love it. Mm-hmm. And there are other people who are saying, I'm an extrovert. I'm dying for some other human interaction besides my family or my animals that are in my home. And so some people are looking for those outlets to be outside of their home. And so employers are going to have to make decisions that provide those options. Interestingly, groups like co-working spaces have been some of the hardest hit through this season. But I see in a lot of ways them having a real opportunity in the future where larger employers are paying for the membership fees for employees so they have the option to go somewhere when they want and to stay at home when they are able to.
Mm-hmm. So it would be just a matter of time, I guess, before all of that would happen. But with coronavirus pushing everything ahead, it seems like we've kind of reached that age of the Jetsons where we can now do telecommuting or doing the work from home in that regard with video chat, and even using it for recreational purposes. Like I've seen quiz nights run through Zoom chats.
Absolutely. Yeah, it has definitely expedited that process. One thing that will be interesting to see is how it affects people's career choices, mm-hmm. because many want a career where they can work from home, but others say that during this time they've had more physical interaction at home, but they've been less mentally present because the lines are more blurred between work and personal. And so it will be interesting not only to see the work effects, but the psychological and emotional effects of people spending more and more time inside their own home.
This is Indiana in the Morning, and we're talking with Kevin Paul Scott, the CEO of the leadership consultancy ADDO and a business marketing analyst. We're talking about how the office world might change in the future. Are we still going to have time to meet at the water cooler, or is that water cooler going to be a picture on Zoom video chat now? So let's talk about it from that sort of angle. When you work in this sort of video conference atmosphere, there really isn't a lot of ways for you to interact with your fellow workers in the office outside of that, unless you try to do something on the sly through direct message or anything like that. So we really might not see the water cooler come back into play.
No, you might not. And I think the other thing that then does is it levels the playing field for small businesses. I mean, think about this. For many years, if you're a larger business, one of the things you're selling an employee when you're trying to get them to come work here is, look look at our nice office space. Look at the amenities we offer. Look at the things we can provide to you. And if you take that away, well, why wouldn't I just work with any other group? So for people trying to build a great place to work or trying to attract talent, the way that they do that is going to be forced to shift.
Wow, I never thought of it being a great equalizer like that between big and small businesses. So how can people really take advantage of this from a small business atmosphere? Because we are in the middle of downtown Indiana, which is a bevy of small businesses.
Yeah, I think for small businesses, the big advantage is it is easier to be more flexible. When you have a smaller workforce, there's some challenges. I'm a small business owner, so I understand that. But you're able to say we can provide different things for different employees in a way that larger businesses struggle to do. I mean, most larger businesses are saying right now you can't come into work if they're in an office space. A small business like ours is able to say, if you want to work from home, you have that ability, but we're opening our office because we can still do this in a safe way. So I think it's a huge advantage. Small businesses need to not run from this moment. They need to be out there promoting why they are the best place for an employee to work.
So it's all about how they're able to promote themselves against the big businesses. And again, you're going to have that level of disparity because big business, they have the money to spend to take care of that, to promote.
Absolutely. And big businesses in the past have had to invest in all of their own technologies to be able to do video conferencing. Now you don't have to have that. Every single small business anywhere can have access to the 3 or 4 services that they need to be able to lead and manage a remote workforce.
Mm-hmm. And we're seeing this as kind of a way that the public can we've been seeing this as virtual coverage being used for school board meetings, things like that as well. So I'm beginning to wonder if it is becoming much like the Jetsons, where we're able to do everything over a TV screen. Hopefully it won't be, though.
I'm with you. I may be in the minority, but I'm one of those who I need that human interaction outside of the home. And so I want the flexibility and the option, but I also like having the ability to walk in and have a face-to-face meeting when I want to.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. Kevin Paul Scott, thank you very much for joining us here on Indiana in the Morning to talk about Zoom, the office, and the future. I wish you great success, and hopefully we'll catch up on sometime down the road.
Sounds great. Great to be with you. Great to